Good morning. My name is Pastor Cam. I am the Adult Discipleship and Connections Minister here. So if you're visiting, I just want to say thank you for being here. I feel like everybody in Longview kind of knows what's going on in our family. 6 weeks ago, our house burned to the ground, and that's a part of my story now. And I continue to learn many lessons. One is which if you don't tell your own story, others will tell it for you. And they will fill in the blanks where they don't know any of the truth. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, someone had approached Vicki and told her how disappointed they were in me, that I would run a generator in my garage and close the door of the garage and then go to the rodeo for the next few hours and show up surprised that my house burned down. That is not how that happened. And so I just want to kind of set the record straight. I can be foolish, but maybe not that foolish. But 6 weeks ago, we had a massive storm that did blow through Longview and East Texas and Arkansas and Louisiana and knocked out power in all of those places. And I got a call that next morning, that Friday morning, from Laterno University, from my friends there, who were hosting camps. And they were hosting summer camps and religion camps, and it was really Passes Institute, and said, "Hey, Cam, the university is out of power. We heard you got power. Can you host us at First Baptist?" Absolutely. You've put so much into this week. We definitely want you to finish your week strong. So I came up to the church and turned things on, turned the lights on, got things set so that they can have their discipleship sessions and they can have worship and set things up. So little man Colt was with me, and he was kind of battling through a little fever or just having a tough day. So he was tag along for the day, and we set things up for camp. And so setting up words for worship and music and soundboard, and there's a lot to do to prepare for a camp in a couple hours. And so my mind was racing for all the details that needed to be accomplished for that day. So they came up here, they had a great first session, and then they went back for dinner at the university. I don't know how they made that happen. And then they were coming back up here to have their closing ceremonies, in which they invited all the parents and the people from the community to join them in worship and so that they can see all the things that the students learned. And so when they went home for dinner, I did the same. I went home and I cooked dinner and I prepared, I got things ready. And when I moved into my house 10 years ago, I kind of walked around the neighborhood and asked the neighbors, hey, what's something that happens a lot in this neighborhood? Do we get a lot of traffic or things I need to pay attention to? And they all said the same thing. We lose power a lot. And so as Mr. Fix-It I am, what do? Is I went and bought a generator and I converted it from gas to natural gas and hooked it up to my house and then backflowed it into my house so that we can have power, because Catherine was yet to be born and we were preparing for her to come home soon, and when we just got this house, and for 10 years it has run flawlessly. It's worked so good. And it just happened to be that Friday where I was talking to my twin brother and said, Caleb, the generator's got a little knock in it, and I probably need to get a new one. I've been shopping out this generator, and it's an inverter, and it's quieter, and it's going to run better, and I think I just need to go ahead and pull the trigger on that. And so we argued about what the price of it was and and then I was like, okay, well, you have a good day. I got to go set this up. So I set up the generator at the house, just like we always do, got everything running inside, took the window unit out of the shop and put it in the living room so my family's comfortable, because every Friday night, what do? Many of you know this. We have Friday night movie night. So we don't have a TV in our house, but every Friday we set up a screen and a projector, and the kids just take turns picking movies, and we do that on Friday. Well, I was going to be gone. I couldn't set all that up, so I tried to set it up beforehand, but I was more worried about cooking and getting back up to the church to help with the Passes Institute. So I got up here, got things set up for worship, and right when worship was about to start, Michelle calls me, says, hey, the sound doesn't work. This isn't working. And so we walk through all those, okay, well, maybe it's this cable, maybe it's this. And then I was like, okay, you got it? Yeah, we got it. And I hung up. And she called again. Hey, well, this isn't working now. Okay, well, worship's about to start, and I need to be the person that clicks next on the words, and there's 150 people that need to know what the next word is in the song. So, like, we need to wrap this up, honey. And so I said, okay, well, I got to go. They're starting. They're done with their announcements. I got to get back in there and do this. And so I sit down at the sound booth, and I'm getting things ready, and then she calls again. And I made an expensive mistake. I said, nope. And she called again. I said, honey, worship is more important than whatever's happening right now. You can figure out the sound or the projector or whatever's happening at the house. And I don't hear from her, and I'm like, all right, she figured it out. Worship starts, and then I just get a text, and it just says 911. It's like, oh no. Immediately, I messed up. So I call her back. We FaceTime. She says, generator's on fire. It was not in the garage, by the way. It was in the backyard. It wasn't under the porch. It was outside, several feet from the house. But somehow it caught on fire. But it's being supplied by infinite natural gas. So it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And as the hose melts, feeding it, it works its way back to our house. So Michelle had already called 911, had already alerted the fire department. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm on my way. Sorry, Laterno. You're on your own. Y'all can figure this out. I think my house is on fire. And I run home, and for the next 2.5 hours, we just watch it burn to the ground. And as friends and family and people show up, and we just watch the show. And that night, and the many that have passed since then, the past 6 weeks, I promise it still feels like yesterday. Psalm 19 has been on my heart. And it continues every day to teach me. Please turn to Psalm 19 this morning, because that's where we'll be. And in true Cam form, I have got 1 point for us today. Hopefully the shortest sermon you'll hear all year. Psalm 19. If you get bored, read the whole chapter. It is phenomenal. Oh, children, you may go now. You were so patient and kind and generous. Thank you. Y'all have fun with Miss Katie. Psalm 19, you can read the whole chapter. We're not going to do that. I'm just going to focus on the last verse, verse 14. It begins with the word let. Let. When my children want something, they use this word a lot. Daddy, will you let us swim at our friend's house? Daddy, will you let us have another gluten-free Oreo cookie? And notice I said another because I'm a fantastic father. I've already given them multiple. And yes, they are appealing to authority as their father. And I can say yes or I can say no. I can say yes or I can deny that request. Moses did the same thing with Pharaoh. He said, let my people go. Yeah, the God of the universe behind him. But the authority in the moment rested with Pharaoh to say yes. It's a petition. It's an ask. It's an allowance. That's something that he greatly desires. And David knows this. He's asking for an allowance. He's petitioning the Lord. Let these things that are to follow occur. And we don't know where David was when he wrote the psalm. He could have been in a field. He could have been in a cave hiding from Saul. He could have been well into his dynasty as a king? I believe it's the latter because of how he says it, but we're not sure. But regardless, he petitions the Lord for these things. He says, let first the words of my mouth. Our tongue is a sharp and double-edged thing. It has incredible power. Power to hurt and power to heal. Your words have the power to wound those you love most. Something about them, about your words, last an awful long time. And you can say things that can tear people down, or you can goad the quitter and uplift the despondent. You can say the words, "You're my favorite," or "I love you." Your words are so powerful. You can say things with your heart, but you can also worship and sing praise to the Lord. Never underestimate your testimony and the words of what's happening in your life as you speak that truth into others. Whether it's your family or your neighbors or your friends or the people around you, do not hold back your words. They have great power. In the meditations of my heart, this is the one that speaks to me the most with where we're at in our life. Because every night when my family's in bed and I sit on the couch and I wonder, do we have enough to get us through tomorrow? Do my kids have the clothes that they need to accomplish tomorrow? Is there enough food in the fridge? Because life does not stop. We still have dance and soccer and church and camp, and we still go on vacation, and all these things continue, but every night I think, what's tomorrow? Do we have enough to accomplish that? And every night I try to hold this against these words, the meditations of my heart. What am I desiring most right now? While we stood in the street and we watched our house burn down, I took inventory. Constantly, well, maybe that's going to make it. Well, maybe that's going to make it. Well, maybe that's going to make it. After a while, I said, no, she gone. It's not going to happen. And I looked down and I had on my sandals, and my shorts, and a t-shirt. I said, well, that's what I got. I looked at my children, PJs, no shoes. That's what they got. Michelle, I won't say, PJs. I thought, okay, well, that's what we have. And I consider that an incredible gift as we start over. Because now I get to weigh everything against this next line. Be acceptable in your sight. Are the words that I say the outward expression to the world of who God is in my heart, and the meditations of my heart, my inner self, the desires that I have, be acceptable, sometimes it says pleasing in your sight, oh God, our Lord. The things that I want and that I desire, I get to weigh every single one of them as we start over to, is this acceptable in your sight? If you can consider the same thing right now, and you walked out that door right now, and the only thing you had was what you were wearing, hope you liked it. Hope you like your outfit today. What would you draw to for comfort? Well, the first thing you might do is go have a meal and consider your options. And then what? What would you want to replace first? What are the things on your list? What are the things that you would go to? What's the meditations of your heart? All David wants is the Lord, regardless of what he has. Weigh those things. Is it acceptable for what he has for you? Both the outward appearance and the inward. Would you go purchase a new Bible and hold fast to his words? Or would you replace it with stuff? With sand? Things that are so fleeting and we try to hold fast to, and then what does it do? But blows away in the wind. All of it is fleeting. All of it is temporary. Think the oldest things on this earth are thousands of years old, but it's nothing in light of eternity. It's kind of surprising when you lose everything. People are so kind and so generous. It's surprising what all the things that they bring you of, Cam, you probably need this right now. People have brought us coffee tables, wanted to give us couches and clothes and things. Used underwear. I will say, Rob, quality. Thank you so much. They were nice. Harold Palmer, no thanks. But out of all the things that people bring us, out of all the things that we receive, and we receive a great many things, that's not what's important. Because truly, all of it is just sand. Be careful of what you're holding fast to in life because of this next line. O Lord, who is your Lord? My rock. Not to sand, but hold fast to the Lord, your rock. And he is only your rock because of one thing. He is your Redeemer. Because Christ has the ability to take all the bad things in your life and all the things that you assume are for bad, and he makes them good. He redeems. He makes whole. And maybe it's not working out like you think it should. That's not the point. He has eternity to make it right. Look through his lens and his perspective. God has so much for you. All of you receive many things. Things that you don't deserve. Michelle and I are overwhelmed with all the things that we have received, things that we don't deserve. But take that aside and count your blessings. You receive the breath in your lungs, breath that you don't deserve as a sinner. But Christ has made a way for you to have life and have it abundantly. You have vision and sight. You can see the mountains and the beach and the people and the face of God around you through the people that sit next to you in this very church. You have the ability to hear a baby's cry, the words, I love you, the ability to know God. It's not about all the things that you receive, because we receive all of those things. It comes down to this. This is what David understood. Your ability to choose. Everyone can receive God, but you must choose him. Just as we witnessed my 7-year-old girl proclaim that Jesus is Lord of her life this morning. But you must make the similar choice every day. And I plead with you, I beg you, I want you to know, let the words of your mouth and the meditations of your heart be acceptable, pleasing to God, who is your rock, because he is our Redeemer. Choose him now. Choose him later in the day. Choose him tomorrow morning. When you wake up anxious for the day, let it go. Because he is your Redeemer. He's the one who holds the power. He's the one who has the keys of the kingdom. You were never in control anyways. Hold fast to him. The stuff in the sand of this world doesn't mean anything. Let him be your rock. Let's pray.